Hi, Jonathan Steele here with more true confessions of a real estate investor. I recently spoke with real estate agent Bill Wren about some of the things that might concern a person if they're buying their first house or if they're becoming a real estate property investor. Bill Wren is not only a realtor, but he's also a real estate investor, and he had some interesting thoughts. Let's listen to what he has to say. What would be the most basic things you'd look at on the outside of the house if you're buying a house to rehab it?
People have asked me what to look for on the outside of an older home to be rehabbed. Here's 6 things to look for. 1. What kind of siding? Is it wood, vinyl, aluminum, asbestos?
So one of the things you'd want to look at with regard to wood siding, is it in good condition or is it peeling? Are the boards flat or are they cupped? How old is the paint job? Has it recently been painted and by who? Was it properly prepared? These are some basic things to consider when looking at siding. I know in our first house we ground down all the paint to the bare wood, then we sanded it. We applied a oil-based primer or an alkyd primer, and then latex. Now this is not what the common wisdom you'll be told by the gurus at the paint store. They'll say, oh, we got the best latex paint that there is. But I've seen cases where latex primer will fail over oil-based paint. This reason's simple. Wood has natural oils in it, and it needs oil-based paint to stick to it. This is even more critical if you're using cedar siding. It especially needs an oil-based primer, not a latex. But then on top of that, you want to put the best latex paint that you can get. The house that I currently live in, the paint job has lasted over 18 years, and I'm just now repainting it. If the house was recently repainted, that may not be a blessing, because if it was done poorly, in just a few years it'll be peeling and it will be needing to be repainted. So you want to find out who painted it and how did they paint it. And it was done poorly, it could end up costing you more in the long run. So find out who did the paint, find out the quality of workmanship, find out the quality of paint that was used in performing the paint job before you purchase the house. That could affect the price that you offer. Bill also mentioned vinyl siding. And again, there's different qualities of vinyl siding. Did they get the better quality, the best quality, or did they get the bargain basement? Does the siding look faded? Are there cracks or broken pieces? If it has metal flashing around, is it flashing in place? One of the most important parts of siding is how it's applied. Do you see the laps from the front or from the back of the house? Basically, you should walk up to the front of the house, be able to look down the side and not see the places where it's overlapping each other, because the overlap should be from front to back. This is just a little detail that separates the amateurs from the professionals who really know their job. Also, did they use full pieces, or are there a lot of little pieces indicating that they tried to scrimp and save as much as they could just to get the job done? The best contractors are going to try to use as few seams as possible. That's really what you were looking for. Anything less, it's a sign that the quality wasn't there in the workmanship. That means there's less value in the house, which allows you to negotiate the price down a little bit more. Aluminum siding is another story. Is it intact? Is it oxidized? In other words, is it kind of dusting off? Is it dented in places? All these things can impact the price you offer on the house. It's impossible to replace individual pieces of aluminum siding because it's probably no longer available. So if there's a lot of problems with this, it means that the whole house will need to be re-sided, and that's again another factor to add into the price that you offer. Finally, there's asbestos. Asbestos can be easily recognized as a hard, brittle, shingle-like material. It has fine little ridges that go vertical, and the sheets of asbestos overlap each other. It's wonderful when it comes to being fire resistant, but should pieces break and you inhale the dust, that could cause some serious health problems. You probably have heard about mesothelioma lawsuits, and they're still going on many years after the stuff was created. Many people will put vinyl siding over the house. This involves putting up a nail strip, putting up a thin layer of insulation, and the vinyl siding, if that's what you use, will go right over the top of the asbestos. It leaves asbestos virtually undisturbed, and it still has its insulative qualities and its fire protective qualities from the outside of the house.
2. Does the roof need to be replaced? How many layers of shingles are there?
From the ground, what does the roof look like? Is it missing any shingles? Are they intact? Are the shingles cupped or curled? This is a giveaway that there may be more than one layer of shingles on the roof. Is there moss on the roof? This can easily be cared for by some of the products on the market. One of the things you do not want to use is chlorine bleach, as this can damage the shingles. If there's a lot of moss, that may be an indication that the shingles may need to be replaced. Last and most important, how many layers of shingles are on the roof? There should only be one. Some codes will allow 2, some contractors will slip by and put in 3 or more. This creates numerous problems. One, it vastly decreases the life expectancy of the shingles. Also, when it comes time to replace it, now 2 roofs have to be removed, which just increases the cost of the roof job that you're going to have to pay for. So even if it looks like it's a new roof, guess what? It's going to end up costing you sooner, and it's going to cost you more. Again, this is a point to negotiate on.
3. Is the chimney cracked or bricks loose?
Outside and standing on the ground, look up at the chimney. Is there a chimney cap? Guess what? If there's not, 2 things could be happening. One, you could have unwanted tenants living in the chimney, or even dead animals in the bottom of the chimney that got in and couldn't get out. More importantly, that allows moisture and other elements to get in that could crack and damage the flue liner. Also look and see if there's any damage to the bricks or the mortar around the chimney. Is the flashing where the chimney meets the roof intact? On the inside, most inspectors will not remove the pipe. It's a good idea to remove the pipe and have a peek inside and see if the flue liner's intact or not. If there's cracks in it, it needs to be replaced. This could be a life-threatening situation. Even if the chimney's on the outside of the house, a cracked flue could allow gases to escape into the house and cause serious health damage to you or your loved ones.
4. How are the steps, railing, and floorboards on the porch?
Are the steps in good repair? Is the railing secured and well painted? If there's boards on the porch, are they sound? If this porch has stone or tile, is the tile in place or are they loose? This is another factor to look at in terms of the outside of the house.
5. Do the trees or bushes need to be cut down or trimmed?
Trees and shrubs may be easily overlooked. However, they create a means of access for both bugs and animals to get into your house. If the trees are too close, the roots could also damage the house. And yet another factor is the security. If someone could be hiding behind the shrubs or trees, it creates a security risk for you and your family.
And 6. Are the basement walls on the outside of the house cracked?
The foundation is a relatively easy thing to inspect to see if there's any cracks. You want to know, is it stone, block, or concrete? And is it sound and secure, or is there some kind of problems going on with the foundation? Additional problem to consider is the ground sloping away from the house or towards the house. This could be a sign of potential for water to collect inside the basement as well. Ground should be sloping away.
These 6 tips are the basic things to consider when looking at a house to buy.